r/ask Reddit. What positive impacts do you think will come from COVID-19? Organizations with abysmally slow internet connections that have not been updated in decades will do so in order to support video conferencing. Best answer I've seen so far. It's already mitigated the stigma associated with working at home. I understand that some people can't handle working from home, but if you can, then it should be allowed. It makes you wonder if the point is to get your job done or to micromanage your every action because you're selling your time rather than your output. People might finally start washing their hands. I worry that people will suddenly become even less hygienic than before for a while. Basically, it's over. I don't have to wash my hands anymore. A lot more curbside shopping and food options. More employers might realize that jobs can be done remotely, allowing more flexibility. More work from home positions might open up. Indeed, office space is extremely expensive, and at this point they'll likely realize how much money they're wasting. Money that could be going back into the business. If there's any positive economic connotations to this FUBA, it is this, and the further rise in tech. I'm hoping that bathrooms and restaurants will become completely hands-free. I hate that the pull side of the door is on the inside and usually there's no paper towel dispensers anymore to use as a glove to touch the sink door handles. I vote for more foot pedal controlled faucets and toilets because these motion sensors that never work make me question if I'm a ghost roaming the earth. As a legally blind person who's been frustrated for years about job prospects and finding something where I don't have to commute, COVID has been a godsend. Food delivery is great too. The downside is the increased cost of these items factoring in the cost of delivery. I guess if I'm not paying for any car ownership expenses, it probably balances out. Back of the envelope, I'm still in the black with all of the delivery costs versus what I would if I calculated it against vehicle wear and tear at 50 cents mile and my time at minimum wage. There have been a few changes. Some things just don't work well, but on the whole it has saved money. We haven't ordered prepared food or been to any restaurant since March. More help for people with disabilities. Online ordering, grocery delivery, food delivery. It's been nice. Saves me energy when I can make an order for something and do a contactless pickup and they just put it in my car when I drive up. Not everyone has energy to spare for simple things like groceries or errands. Also, improvements in telemedicine. Some people may not agree, but I'm really hoping all the online ordering and contactless delivery keeps going. Mail carrier for USPS, and I wholeheartedly agree with this. Always nice to have validation for what I do for a living. My blind GF and I are already seeing more video appointments. This is something she has wanted since forever, since she can't drive. Now, insurance is taking doctor and therapy appointments. There are many pickup options for stores at only little or no extra cost. This is good for someone who can't handle walking in the store. I'm mildly physically handicapped and walking over 10 minutes hurts. So this is fantastic for people who are like me and worse. There are more delivery options for people who don't drive. I can see mask wearing while sick becoming more popular in the States even after this settles down, which will help healthy people not get sick as much with colds and help protect the vulnerable who might not handle the everyday cold as well. There's more, but that's my 2 cents. People with the flu/cold wearing masks and taking precautions to not infect others. Seriously, pre-COVID I can't explain with exasperation the amount of times I've seen people that were clearly sick, coughing, wheezing, and sneezing just carrying on about their lives like it doesn't affect those around them. Hygiene. I'm usually sick all the time, but I haven't been sick a day since lockdown. We've been open back up for months now with social distancing and extra hygiene measures in place everywhere. It's stunning. My kids haven't been sick either. It's like a miracle. Who knew people's gross hands and spittle was impacting my life so much? I think people are going to be a lot more conscious of germs and just public surfaces in general. I know for me it's something I think about constantly now. Yes, for one generation, I think it'll be the same effect that children of war grow to respect and work against. But their children think they are being extra and overbearing. Drive-in movies making a comeback. Yes, agreed. I hadn't been to a drive-in since the 90s and thankfully they started popping up again here in California, so I was able to watch New Mutants and a bunch of classic actions movies this summer. I have started seeing family more regularly online playing games I had no idea about. Jackbox TV. It's been fun and never would have happened without the pandemic. Plus older family members are bored and want to talk for literally an hour about mundane stuff. I've learned a lot about them that I'd never known my whole life. Plus my dogs get a ton more exercise and I've saved money not going out, plus I am eating healthier with my own cooking. Reduced carbon emissions, I guess, from the lack of cars on the road. I heard from a friend who left on bad terms 3.5 years ago. I got the most heartfelt apology and we are planning to hang out soon and catch up. It's the best thing that's happened to me all year. Man, I would love for that to happen. I'd have to unblock them though. Have I forgiven them? I'll think about it now thanks to you. Many people are starting to realize that a lot of celebrities are pretty worthless and pathetic when they are not the center of attention for 5 seconds. Sociologically, I hope we see paid sick days become normal in the US. Scientifically, I hope we can learn from this to develop good vaccines for a bunch of other existing diseases that have eluded us so far. I think a lot of people are realizing how terrible some of their relationships have been. Whether it be with employers, spouses, family, etc. And I think a lot of people are just taking a lot less shit from people. I also think so many have revisited past hobbies, or taken up new ones, or truly became reacquainted with feeling at home in their homes. I think both these things will result in a lot of people just slowing down and reassessing what or who is worth keeping around in life. I know that's certainly been the case for me. I also think a large number of people who have experienced working from home will now refuse to make commuting a part of their workday, which will eventually lead to a lot of changes to how we work. This may eventually lead to changes to housing prices in different areas, etc. Hopefully people will be more conscious of personal space. I'm not a touchy-feely person before this and it's been nice that people aren't invading my bubble hardly now. People washing their hands after peeing. It's not rocket science, dudes. At my workplace when I'm in a cubicle I still hear guys take a dump and walk out after washing their hands. I wish there was a big flashing light outside like in the Far Side comic saying didn't wash hands. People might prefer working from home, which means more jobs and flexibility for businesses. It would be kinda similar to day and night shifts if you know what I mean. Yay, and more quality time to live life working from home in lieu of the driving rat race etc etc. It's a bit of a pipe dream, but I'm hoping there will be a newfound respect for those working in the service industry. Ordering food and drinks at a pub through your phone. While we're talking restaurants, to-go cocktails, other shit, I hope they stick around. My father has pulmonary fibrosis which is going to kill him in the next year or so. It's a hereditary disease, which has affected 3 generations of our family in a row. You die from increased scarring of the lungs. Through a research into COVID there's already a ton more understanding into the reversal of lung scarring and potentially a cure on the horizon. I might not die a slow and painful death from this, after all. I normally get sick with colds and other upper respiratory infections an average of 1.5 times a season. Spring and summer went without me getting sick. It could be the quarantining. But I think masks do make a difference. In hopping it becomes culturally acceptable to wear masks similarly to how normal it is in parts of Asia. So many people are going to be seeking mental health support. In my personal experience I have been suffering with social anxiety and bottling up my feelings I could never bring up to my doctor because I was so afraid of crying and making a fool of myself. Now that phone and video doctor sessions are available and encouraged, I was able to talk to someone without fear of crying in public. I am now going to therapy and in the process of being diagnosed with anxiety. I am sure there are many stories like mine out there. Just figured I'd add, if anyone needs to hear it, that you are never alone. It's so hard at first to reach out for help, but it is so worth it. I got a new beachside job that I applied to because I got furloughed. So that's neat. Less traffic. Perhaps people will understand why we have departments which specialize in preventative measures for things like pandemics, and maybe it would be a good idea to keep them staffed and keep them funded. Honestly, since COVID I really likes the rule of extra space when in line. Hate people just breathing on my shoulder while we were in line. Also hated strangers sitting next to me on an empty bus and it stopped. A smaller flu season. Less pollution, more job flexibility, increased focus on mental health and well-being, increased focus on physical health and well-being, increased cleanliness, exodus from cities creating less traffic in dense population areas. Honestly, I think, and hope, it's going to lower barriers to work for people with disabilities. Offices and buildings are supposed to be ADA compliant, but that's only a small part of it. Remote work holds promise and opportunity for a vast pool of talent who have been sidelined because they can't get to the interview or don't get the role because they showed up with braces or a wheelchair. It won't reach everyone, but I hope it'll reach many more people whose talent has been disregarded. Employers will get better at not being jerks if you call in sick. The new skills people have been learning. I've never even tried to plant anything, but I learned how to garden this year and now have fresh peppers and tomatoes. More telecommuting. More cashless transactions. More video calls. Less gas usage. Whoa, you made it to the end? You're a ducking beast. I'll cut you a deal. Smash like and subscribe for more curated content, bruh. It's free and that's a great price.